Good morning, everyone. So today my discussion is about a session on building innovation or creating prototype. So first, to the audience, we already heard about my introduction. My name is Alwin Poulose. I'm a researcher, currently a researcher from Intelligent Signal Processing Lab. So let's start our discussion. So during the presentation, first I like to discuss the following topics. So we start with our discussion about the analytical perspective of our prototype creation, and first the starting or beginning stage of how to create a prototype, or how to come with an idea or innovation. And next is like we discuss about understanding the problem. So how this problem, or like come out with some problem statement and executive summary, like how to execute or how to solve this problem, or how to address these challenges. And also thinking process, how to make this problem as a solution, like how to find the solution, and how to come out with a prototype or a patent or some idea. And the basically we have an idea, and like we have a strong idea or something, and we don't know how to implement the idea, or how to make it as a product, or something useful to the society. So the thinking process, how to make it as a how to achieve the our goal. And a design sprint approach, like how the designing part works, and the possible risk. So if we start our creating our model, or the prototype, the possible risk, what are the challenges we face during the process, and also the user feedback. And a team with the right skill set, we will discuss about what are the teams involved in for our startup. It's like a prototype, or like if you are making a product, so which team members we have to involve, and how the what is the responsibility to achieve our goal. And also from my research side, I like to add some example, like how the idea or prototype or a product we developed here. uh, and finally I conclude my discussion. So when we start with the analytical perspective, so when we start with a startup, like or innovative idea, so everyone has their own ideas, or in our mind we have one idea or something new innovative thing. But after that we don't know what to do next, or how to make it as a prototype, or how to come with as a product. So it's like if we define a prototype, it's like a prototype tag is arbitrary. It can be a physical object, or even just a drawing sketch on the back of a napkin during a coffee with a colleague. So what matters is that you are able to learn by allowing users to attempt to solve their problem with your hypothetical solution. So the basic idea, when we come with one innovation or prototype, it should solve some existing challenges, or it should address some problems and improve the performance. If it's related to some type of product or some system, it should maintain the perfect result, or maintain the user's expectation. So understanding how to quickly gain this insight in perhaps the most valuable skill one can have in an increasingly disruptive world. So first, when start with our approach or our idea, the first stage is to analyze, like in which direction or which way we can solve this problem. And so next is like understanding the problem. So this research is designed for, we start with why we have to do this research, or like which audience or which customers are the benefits for our idea or our prototype. So when this research is designed for enterprise architects or business analysts or business relationship manager, or like if it is comes with a technology, like the particular uses, what are the product uses from our idea or from our product. And this next also, this research will help you, like what type of advantage when we come with this idea, or what is the effect, the impact of this idea or this product in our society. That is another consideration. So develop, test and iterate prototypes for the IT-driven solution to business problems. That's one example. So instead of business problem, we can consider like some existing or some challenges like the one we are working. And the next is like make the case of budget to build, scale, and pilot a successful prototype. So the major issue related with a prototype or a product is like to practically implement, the main concern is budget. The system codes should be very small or very smaller as, and the quality of the product is very high. That is the cost trade-off normally when we consider for a prototype. And who will assist this idea or this project? So we can consider different types of persons like IT manager or IT domain experts or CIO, and different like researchers or the developers, the programmers, like entire team. We should need a team to assist and to develop the idea, to make it practical and to sell the product. So this research will help them to employ a process for cost and time effective prototypes, and socialize collecting learning to improve IT's appreciate for and experimentation, and build a team with confidence in its ability to develop innovative solution. So basic idea for this is like we need a good team, a qualified, a skilled persons. They have to assist our idea to develop and make it as a product. So when we start with the executive summary, the situation. So before starting with our idea or implementation, first we analyze what is the current situation, and how this situation affect our implementation or the product or something. So the business has a mandate for innovation and the budget. The major concern is like how much budget, or if this product or this innovation we have to make it as a practically implement, how much the budget or the total cost, and once for the high risk high reward initiative. So that is also another concern. And many innovation projects have failed in the past. So when we consider the previously, like most of the innovation after 2 or 3 years later, or the product after 2 to 3 years later, it's like they are facing so many problems like a failure. So and many projects that have moved through the approval process fail to meet their expectations. So before, when we submit a proposal to an organization, so the organization has some requirements or expectation. So our proposal or our project should satisfy their expectation or their criteria. So complication. So next stage is like how much complicated our innovation or our product. So that is like innovation project are big bets, and also it's like a drive early values. So the complexity of the system, or the how easily we can achieve our innovation or idea, that is the second stage. And finally the resolution. So build and test a prototypes, and create an environment. So create an comfort environment, and learn technique for socializing and selling your ideas with the business stakeholders, and refine your prototype through rapid iteration and user experience testing, and socialize design thinking culture tactics. So these are the like major stages or the concerns when we start with our idea or innovation. So thinking process. So we have an idea and we need to make it as a practically implement. So these are the some stages we can go through to make it as a prototype. So emphasize, like connect and understand the users. So that is the starting stage. We have to find the people like the related to our idea, or like we have to connect with them and understand the users, what type of users we need, or our users, our product benefit, who which person will get the benefit of our product or our idea. And define, identify or reframe the core problem. So when we define the problems, we have so many challenges, but as a product or as a system, it is very difficult to solve or get a remedies for the entire solutions, entire problems. So our solution can solve only some of the problems. So first we figure out all type of problems, the existing challenges for a system, and I ideate, like we come with so many ideas, but practically implement the all type of ideas for a system is difficult. So in that case, we have to reduce or narrow down the ideas and build a prototype. And the next stage is like test. So if you come with a prototype or some system, The test result is the major concern. So how much accurate or the performance of this system depend on that only we can sell our product or we can sell our idea. So when we start with a design sprint approach, like the first stage is like understand and ideate. So identify and validate the problem and work as a team to come up with the ways to solve the problem. So the major thing is that it's come with a team with the same idea or similar uh, passion, and we just ideate everything and divide and conquer. So it is very difficult to a person to do everything, and we don't have the knowledge to do all tasks. So the next stage is like divide our tasks, like break off into teams to build initial prototypes and test them by putting them in the hands of real users, and unite and integrate. So share learning from the first iteration or the first test and bring together the best ideas into a single prototype. So instead of adding everything, it's better to come with a excite point or one single solution and try to implement that idea and build and sell. So the next last stage is like build or come with an product or some ideas and test the and build and test the integrated prototype, and then learn how to sell it to executive to acquire the budget to implement it. So these are the design sprint approaches. So when we consider the major risk or possible risk to implement or to validate our idea or something, so the first thing is like everyone consider the perfectionism. So how much perfect our system, or how much, if something related to a technology or some product, how much error the system can solve, or how much improved our performance or accuracy of the system. So that is the first possible risk. If our system is can't solve the existing or the state of art some, so if our idea or some our product is already doing the same thing that's already existing in the market, so our idea is outdated or our approach or method can do anything in the society. So we have to come with a accurate very good results, and also the low tolerance for experimentation, and diverse team can lead to disagreements, and focus on testing everything could delay decision making. So the other thing is that how much the time we need to make it as a product or idea or prototypes. So the delay also gives more risk to our system, our idea, and also the cost of failure. So it's also another possible risk. So when we consider 70 to 90% of innovative project within well established business fail within 3 years of kickoff. So that is the real situation in current scenario. So we have to overcome like the failure, or how to our product should maintain the quality of the system. So the major concern or major point for a prototype or a product is like user feedback. So we, based on the user feedback, we have to update our system. So explore your ideated solution before they are fully fleshed out, and collect data and gain insight about what your end users want from a solution. That is the major important point. And answer the questions business executive and stakeholders will want answered, and also learn about your solutions business values to convince the business to invest in it. So these are the major points we can discuss, and the most important is user feedback. So it's a very influencing factor about the user feedback. If our product or our thing the product can satisfy the users, then we have the progress or growth. So team with the right skill set. So if we start with a company or some product or something prototypes, uh, these are the major employees or the department we can consider, like the product owner, researchers, engineers, or engagement coordinator, designer, developers, and facilitators. So they have their own duties, and the like the we have to arrange everything together to achieve our goals. So next is like these are just basic some basic idea about like a innovation or building a prototype. So next is like I like to introduce like my. So when we start with our idea or prototype, so the first stage what we did is like we we figure out some goals. So our final product is to intention prediction system and identify the human activities or identify the user position. So we figure out some goals to make us a product or some prototype. So using data from wearable devices and sensors, and continuously learn a user behavior and predict their intention from a series of activities inside a known environment. So these are our goals, and we start with our planning. So how to plan or how to implement this idea, and it's make us a prototype. So our first stage is to identify the activity organization. So we divided our team into some groups, and the persons, they have the background for the signal processing ideas, or uh, like they are working with the sensors. So they do this part, activity organization. And that is also for localization, identify the user position. That is another part of our goal. So some other groups we divided, that we gave the responsibility to identify the user position, do research on the localization, come with some ideas, some algorithms to get our final goal. And to combine the both systems, so our entire system we divided into small parts, and finally we have to combine the both systems and general a model, I create a model. So this model is, the output is like predict the user position. So prediction system and reinforcement learning. So we try to implement some artificial intelligence idea to our system, and the system can predict the user activities, user position, and what to do next. That's all. This type of activities. So here we created an idea, a block diagram, entire human intention prediction system. It consists of each blocks like activity organization, localization, and a human behavior data set, and also intention prediction system. So the output is like some type of wants to have lunch or wants to watch television. So the basic idea is like if a person is in our home and he's sitting in a sofa or something, and our system can predict the possibilities of what the person is going to do. So if the TV is on, so he is supposed to be watch TV, or if he has some newspaper or something, he's reading newspaper. Or if a person is in kitchen, or depends on the which location kitchen he is cooking. So this type of scenario, based on that, we predict, our system can predict what is the activity or the current situation, and what the person to do next. So this type of things. And the more useful persons for this idea is like old people in our house. So these days, like the old people, they're living in our house alone. So our idea is like our prototype or product is to assist the old people. So we have to monitor their health conditions and their activities if no one is there in our home. So and if the old people, or if they are paralyzed, or they can't do proper walk or something, and if they fall down or something, so we have to assist them, or we have to give better health care to the people, to the patients or the old people. So in that was our problem statement. To solve that, to address that, we came with some ideas, some systems, and we combined and we created a model to address that problem. So here is some basic idea about activity organization, some background. So we have some sensors like smartwatch or smartphone, and we collect all type of data, also our heartbeat also, and different types of data from our existing wearable sensors, like from our normal smartphone or Fitbit or our smartwatch, and identify the user activities, like what type of activities the user is doing. So application is like, major application is healthcare, and we can monitor our health. And the next one is abnormal activity detection. So this for all people, if no one is in the home or some places, and if the person can take care of their parents from far from their home, so they can monitor, and if some abnormal activity or something happened, we can easily identify, and we can give the better care to the old people. And the smart environment and indoor navigation. So our system also identify the user position, so where exactly the person is located, and security and surveillance, and research and UAVs. So these are just major approaches existing for our our problem. So we like vision based approaches like camera mounted in environment, and also radio frequency based approaches, and wearable sensors approach. So these are some basic activities like we considered for our scenario, our prototypes. So we consider basic activities like motion, like walking upstairs, walking downstairs, falling, jogging, and stationary activities like standing, sitting, laying. But there are some complex activity like compound activities. So it's the system is a little complicated. I mean, the complexity of the system is very high if you consider all these type of activities inside a room. So doing laundry, making coffee, studying, bathing, cooking, watching TV, using phone, reading book. So this type of riding a bike or dancing using computer, this type of compound activities also our future consideration. So currently we focus on basic activities for our prototype. So here is our overall idea or the framework, we used for our prototype. So like we have the signals from different sensors. We in our case we consider uh, smartphone and also the IMU sensor, and also the Wi-Fi signals, Wi-Fi RSSI signals, and we created a model using deep learning, and we identify the user activities and predict the human intention. So here is our model. So our model, this our server side result we are the plotting. So the user is just an experiment scenario we created in our environment. So the user is walking activity, and this demonstration we consider only basic activities: walking, standing, sitting. But there are like the advanced version we consider the different scenarios. So we also identify the trajectory, the path of the user, and identify the user position and also activities. And also we developed a mobile application. So our the Android programmers in our team, they developed a mobile application, and we made our more robust system, more application wise system. So here is our recent prototype. So we just used our smartphone, and in the smartphone we have this interface. So we developed this interface to identify the type of sensors and the user activities and the location. So we consider the accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, and linear acceleration values from the smartphone, and our prototype, our model identify the user activities and location. So inside a room, we create we our model predict or identify the user activities and also the position. So also the user just using the laptop. So just normally inside a room or in an office environment, what the user is normally do. So we consider all scenarios, and based on that, our prototype identify the activities and location. So this is the recent prototype we developed for human intention prediction. So during our discussions, like we talked about building innovation and creating prototypes. So more innovative solution that better meet users' needs, and also improved collaboration among team members is the necessary part we need to consider. So to divide the group into some small teams and assign the duties, and finally combine everything and come with an product or some prototype. And lower risk and cost of failure, we have to consider how much risk we have for our system and also the cost of failure. If the cost is very high, it's very difficult to make it as a practically implement the system. And very important thing is user feedback. It's based on the users requirement, we have to update our system and improve the performance and skill set. We need a qualified skills person to implement the system. So thank you for your attention.